everybody, it's Meg from Books Off the Beaten Path, and I'm here to do a tag that Heather from Heather Reads tagged me on. Heather, my good dear friend Heather, and it's called the BookTube Embarrassment Tag. And so we're going to get embarrassed here, but maybe not, because I don't embarrass that easily. I just don't. Okay, and that has to do with my friends. My friends do not embarrass easily either. You should see some of this trouble we get into. Okay. First question, a book that someone or something has made you feel embarrassed about liking. Well, I think that goes to cozy mysteries. My husband teases me about my love of cozy mysteries. My brother, when he was alive, he teased me a lot about my love of cozy mysteries. They were always like, oh, reading another Murder at Teacup Manor, are we? Because they like, Jimmy, my husband, likes historical nonfiction. And John, my brother, God rest his soul, loved science fiction. Like Ray Bradbury and Isaac Asimov and everything like that. And then there I was with my little Teacup Manor thing and everything like that. And so they made me feel kind of embarrassed by it, but in another way not, because the enjoyment of reading the book was so much that I got over it pretty darn quickly. A book you're embarrassed about completely missing the point of. That would be Moby Dick. I have tried reading Moby Dick 3 times now, and I just cannot get past thinking of SpongeBob SquarePants every time. And I know it's about man versus nature and everything like that, but to me, it's just about Mr. Krabs and his daughter Pearl the whale, and I cannot get past this crabby old man after this big whale, and I just don't see it. People love that book. People are like, that book have changed my life. I'm like, I just don't see it. It's just about a grumpy old man, kind of crazy, who's after a whale. Missed the point of that one. A book you've been embarrassed or would be embarrassed to be seen reading in public. 50 Shades of Grey. I've read 50 Shades of Grey, but I would never read it in public. No. I just would never do that. Because that doesn't fit my vibe, man. But I'm admitting to you that I've read it, and I did not like it, and it wasn't for the reason that you think I didn't like it. I didn't like it because I thought the writing was so poor. I mean, because I've read erotic fiction, and I've read a lot of steamy romance in my time, and this one was just... Anastasia was just so stupid, and Christian Grey was just need to get over himself, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, I'm popped. Okay. A book you'd be embarrassed or hesitant to buy in person. I think any book written by someone who does not hold my beliefs. Let me put that another way, because that sounds like a really cruddy thing to say, that I can't read books by people that don't hold my beliefs. But, you know, there's books out there, there's a lot of new age stuff, let's say, that, you know, your spiritual guide and everything like that. And I don't mind buying books about ghosts and ghost stories. I love those. I think those are great. But like The Promise, remember when The Promise came out? Oh, I would never have let anyone see me buy that. I would never read that. I had some friends who read it and really enjoyed it. And I have to say I was shocked by that. And not in a good way, but like that new agey kind of you can change your whole life by connecting with the spirits that are around you all the time that come through your chakras and stuff like that. But I'm going to get in big trouble for saying that. So I'm not going to say any more about it. A book you've been embarrassed not to like. Well, Moby Dick. I go back to Moby Dick. And really, Russian literature. I've tried my hand at Russian literature, and I just find it so deadly dull. I cannot do it. And Heather's going to be mad at me about this. Well, I hope she's not mad at me. I don't want her to be mad at me. But like George Eliot, I don't like George Eliot. I think he's kind of boring. She's kind of boring. There, I've said it out loud, the embarrassment tag. I'm going to lose all my followers now, and I know I will. A book cover you find embarrassing. A book cover I find embarrassing. I love book covers so much. I don't think I can think of one that I would find embarrassing. No, because art is in the eye of the beholder. Okay. A book or books you feel embarrassed not to have read. I've read a lot of classics, but they've been very narrow. Like I've read all the Jane Austens, I've read all the Brontes, I've read a lot of Charles Dickens, I've read all the Trollops, but like I haven't read any Thackeray, I haven't read any of the what they consider modern classics. Like I've read To Kill a Mockingbird, but I've never read Red Badge of Courage or Cold Mountain, or what's the one that's come out that everybody loves, James or Horse or anything like that. I've never read the modern classic. I haven't read those. Lord of the Flies, never read it. Have no intention of reading it. Yep. So I would say I'm embarrassed to say that I don't know much about classics that are like post 20th century. I just don't read those. So I'm embarrassed to say, like, if you, that's why I'm not in a book club at the moment, because I would never read what they're reading. I did read The Women though, and I enjoyed that quite a bit. Okay, an author or genre you're embarrassed to like or have been embarrassed to like. Well, I go back to the cozy mystery thing. I like Murder at Teacup Manor. I like it when there's no big romance. And I mean, I love classic mysteries like Agatha Christie and John Dickinson Carr in the 20s and 30s and everything like that. But I've been embarrassed by my cozy mystery buying. Yes, I have, because I've been to a lot of secondhand bookstores and I've just stacked them up like that. You know, like the ones that have the animals that talk. The ones that they have the animals that talk in the cozy mysteries. Yeah, I really like those. I know that's embarrassing. I know that's embarrassing. Okay. Show us or tell us an embarrassing bookish subject. Ooh, an embarrassing bookish subject. Rape. I think I'm going to go with rape. That would be not only horrifying, but very embarrassing. I think it would be more horrifying than embarrassing, but I've never read a book deliberately where anybody has been raped, because I'm afraid that would be just too much for me to take. But I don't know if you would count that as embarrassing, but it was the first thing that came to mind. So I'm being honest. At least I'm being honest about it. So, okay, what words, sounds, or phrases do you feel embarrassed about overusing on BookTube? Oh, wait, show us. Wait, I forgot number 9. I'm going backwards. Hold on, Heather. Show us or tell us about an embarrassing bookish object. I don't think I have one. I don't think I have an embarrassing bookish object. I have my one bookmark that we've talked about before, but I'm certainly not embarrassed by that. I don't have a Nook or a Kindle. I had one years ago and then I lost it, so I don't have one of those. I don't have an itty bitty book light because I've tried with those and I just end up messing with it the whole time. I don't have one. I don't have an embarrassing book object. Okay, now, on to something I do get embarrassed about. What words, sounds, or phrases do you feel embarrassed about or using on BookTube and in life? I will say something, pause for a long time, and then say something else that doesn't have anything to do with what I said before I paused. And I say, a lot, and what else do I say? I said, and all that stuff, which is just me trying to sum up without, taking the time to write a script and everything. I say, and all that summed up. Check you later. I say check you later every single time I BookTube. I say check you later. So, and I'm about to say it again, but I'm going to tag some people. Let's see, I'm going to tag Mark with Book Rambles. I'm going to tag Philip with A Poet Reads to Write. And I'm going to tag Kevin Towles Reads. And I'm going to tag, who else should I tag? I don't have enough girls in there. I need to look on my list, and I'm going to tag some more girls on there. So I'm going to tag 5 or 6 people on this one because this one was a really good one. But as I said, I don't embarrass easily. It's just never been, I think it was because I was so heavy growing up and I kind of got over it really quickly. I mean, you can only be teased so much when either you go down that dark path or you just become tough. And I think I just got a little tough, a little early. So it's hard to embarrass me. But do you want to see my shirt that I'm wearing? My husband is embarrassed about my shirt. See? So I'm not embarrassed about it, but he's embarrassed about it. I'm going to Writers this afternoon. I'll take a little video of that, but he doesn't want me to wear the shirt out. He doesn't like the shirt. So anyway, I like the shirt, and I like you guys, and I will check you later.